Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing bourbon and how it's continuing to grow on-premise sales. Steve did a great job writing this.
Yes.
My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Darren McElroy, Katie Joyce, and Ryan Thompson.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Katie's got a question for us. And before we get to that, and before we get into the topic of the day where we talk about, hey, there's some good information out here. It's positive. So a lot of times we're hearing about bourbons getting ready to crash and all this. We got some positive information coming from the on-premise side, so we'll get to that in just a second. I forgot what I was going to say, so we'll just go to Katie and her question of the day. Katie, what do you got? I did. I was going to say something.
You
very
sounded
insightful.
like you had something.
I had something good. I forgot it. So we're just going to go to Katie. I know Katie has a question. So what do you got, Katie?
So my small talk was going to be me just bitching about people because I was on an airplane earlier today and I had a person so much stealing my armrest that they were changing the controls on the TV in front of me. So I was stuck most of the flight watching a Hispanic soap opera in front of me because that's what their elbow changed it to. But instead, I'm going to take a more positive route and say, does your dog or cat or other animal that you have a human and a spare human? Like, is it clear that someone in your household is their favorite? Yeah, and so I asked this because we did a test when we just got home. We've been gone for the weekend where John and I both stood outside and his mom is here at our house currently. She was the same with the animals and she let the dog out and we tested to see who he would run to first.
Okay.
I lost, but
you lost.
That's an ego burner, isn't it?
It was indeed, because normally it appears that I am the favorite. Like right now, John's out there available. I'm in here recording a podcast and I've got a dog in here practically on my lap. He joins the podcast often. He rarely leaves me alone. So you'd think I'd be the favorite. John does think it may have been a last minute diversion that he went to him first so he could be like, hi, Dad, bye, Dad, and then spend more time with me.
Oh, John's doing damage control. Yeah.
John was definitely doing damage control. He could see my heart was broken.
Right. So. Yeah. So good for him. He's thinking on the fly there. That's good.
Oh, no. He just wanted to say hi to me first. That's all. Don't worry.
Like, he was just get it over with quick to really say hi to you. Yeah.
I do like this question, and I don't have a pet now, and I don't know if I'll have one again. But we did, not that long ago, we had a cat. His name was Leo, and he definitely had a favorite person in the house, and it was not me. It was definitely the warden. And, you think about in winter when it's kind of a little bit colder in the house because we would keep it low and all that. He always sat by the warden unless she wasn't home. And then suddenly I'm cool. Then it's like, hey, I'm going to snuggle with you today. And I always thought, you son of a bitch, go sit on that empty couch over there where you spend every other night. But then he was pretty warm, so it was like, well, I guess I'll have the cat sit by me. So, yeah. But, he definitely had a favorite. It was not me, so. I think we know what Beka.
Yep, a similar situation in our household here with
Dean.
Dean. Dean is my cat. He's always been my cat. He does like Royce a whole lot, so he does like him. But Dean definitely Dean we have our whole morning ritual. He comes upstairs and he sleeps lays right along my side in the morning, and I have my hand on his belly, and we just it's 5 a.m. till 8 a.m. just that's how we sleep. But whenever I'm gone, all of a sudden he's like, "Hey Royce, so you want to be best friends?" And frankly, Royce is also sad. And so Royce is like, "Yeah, I need some connection too." And so they just cuddle each other.
They bond in their mutual missing of you.
Yeah, they really do, because they both are very needy and dependent on me. So then they just have to do that with each other instead.
Yeah. All right.
No.
Ryan?
Doesn't it usually just come down to who feeds them more?
Probably.
No.
I don't think so.
And my cats are on automatic feeder, so
I don't even feed my cat; it's automatic.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the thing anymore. My kid too, same thing. She doesn't feed her cats; they're just automatic.
Your kid's on an automatic feeder?
Hey, this is exactly what a fucking guy would say too, because for years they're like, "The cat only likes you more because you feed the stupid fucking cat. It's not because I'm a dick to him. He'd probably like me more, but you feed him."
Right.
No, it's actually because
look at Ryan.
The cat.
Well, Ryan has no pets. I mean, yeah.
It's because the cat actually likes us more.
Ryan, did you have a pet growing up?
I had all kinds of pets growing up. The list is long and obnoxious.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that. But since 18 and moving out of the house, I have not had a pet. So.
That's so sad.
Well, you're on the go all the time, and finding pet sitters in my area is hard to come by, and they're costly, and so just deliver a more simpler life.
Have you considered a fish?
I have not considered a fish. A fish doesn't really add a lot of value to my life anyways.
No, cuddling up on the couch with the fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could go for a swim with it, though.
Put the beta tank
on too
on the couch.
Yeah. Until he passes out, then he drops it. So you don't need that.
Had a lot of dogs, a lot of cats growing up. The list is obnoxious. We'll just stop with that.
Well, you should be a pet sitter then when you are home for other people who have pets full time.
That's not what billionaires do.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Okay.
You know what? You enjoy your hair-free clothing and household.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I want to hear about it.
That's
all
right.
Darren also doesn't have a pet.
I do not currently have a pet.
Did you have pets growing up?
So my parents always tell the story. They went 27 years without getting a dog because one of them would never want the dog at the same time. And so they'd go back and forth. And then I came along and was like, I want a dog. And they're like, no. And so I acted like a dog for 3 months.
I acted like
off and on. I just acted like a dog. And they're like, you know what? We should get him a dog. And so we got this dog. Her name was Jasmine.
Concerned about your growth and development.
Right.
They're like, we think.
Always.
He's reverted back to canine.
Darren was the first out there, is what you're saying? This is your fault, Darren.
First dog.
I was old.
First dog in the McCroy house was him. So yeah,
we have you to blame for furries. Is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Don't get me started. Anyway, but her name was Jasmine. She was awesome. And so we went and adopted her, and I was like, she's going to be my dog. She's going to love me the most. And by the end of her life, I was probably her least favorite person she saw on a regular basis because I was in college. I didn't feed her the most. I wasn't one of the grandkids that she loved. So I really got demoted, and that hurt. But the pets I had in college didn't have amygdala, so they didn't have capability of loving people. So they liked me just fine. They actually loved me. For a fact.
The ones that can't love you the most?
Yep.
Huh.
Because I had a snake in college, so
a snake.
The old amygdala excuse.
And they're not capable of caring. So
they don't care. They don't care.
This is why I don't like snakes.
Nah, snakes are bad. Oh. Darren, you just had a snake until recently, right?
yeah, I did. I sold them off recently.
Yeah, he had one of his. We had one of his girlfriends come in, and I got to hear some stuff. Till I left the shop, I it was getting too much. I had the warden and I there. We're just like, let's just leave it. Of course, he was acting like he owns the shop, of course, and I was like,
that's what's going on.
Mr. McCroy, is it okay for me to leave early today? And he was like, well, I'll tell you. I guess so. And then I hear him as I'm heading out the door. I'm hearing like, you got to empower people. You got to give them a little freedom. I hear him telling this girl that's in the shop that this is how this type of things he does for his employees.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly how that whole conversation went on. Nothing was changed. 100% accurate. I confess right now.
Yeah, he's telling what he does. His business philosophy as I'm heading out the door. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God. He also said one of his girlfriends. Do you have many of those? Like,
considering this one wasn't even my girlfriend, yeah, probably by Steve's definition.
Well, yeah, it was a female that came in looking for him. So I
just caught on to the one of his girlfriends. I didn't know if
it feels like if a woman's so willing to make an effort, she drives into the store. It feels like there's some effort there.
She lives like a half mile away from the shop.
She literally came in the door and said, the only reason I come in here is because of you, right? And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we know what Darren does at the shop when no one else is there.
I wonder why he was late getting on here tonight.
Right. Had to finish some things up,
Yeah. He's got a sign that says, McCroy's ABV Barrel Shop. he takes down
every time Steve drives on the parking lot. I flip it off and
right. Yeah. So, well, there you go. There you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Darren looks ready to go, so we're gonna let him go. What do you got there?
After that conversation, I need to drink. So I got some cast strength rye from Sagamore Spirits. Nope.
Okay, it's Basie.
I punched my microphone. I should be
we know Becca's out. Becca's making.
I am still picking up Royce from the airport this evening.
Okay, fair enough. All right. How about you, Katie?
I've got Copper Dome.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yes,
I do have Copper Dome. Okay. Oh, that was sad. That was a very sad pop.
Darren's was better than that.
I don't have Copper Dome. No, just kidding.
That's ridiculous.
Steve, cut that out real quick. She'll do it over.
Can we edit that? I actually have Stumpies with me.
I give Darren a chance here. I got Square 6, and this bottle is almost gone. So, let's see what we got here. No, Darren still has the lead, but Ryan, this is your chance. I tell you what, if you've ever had a chance, Ryan,
not for long.
Do we want to take a break when he goes out and buys a new bottle of something? Yeah, so he has a good chance.
Brand new bottle.
Oh, not note from old here. Damn, nothing.
I heard a whisper.
It was wide open for him, and he fumbled. So there you go, Darren. You win. Cheers.
Darren win with a not so impressive pop either. I might say so myself.
Hey, a win's a win. I haven't seen you get one tonight, so.
Well, so Darren declared no after he popped it. So can he really win, or did he disqualify himself?
Oh
no, I think I won. 100% did not say
no.
It was 100% a win.
Now he says it.
Yeah. Huh. That's
had it all the way.
Interesting.
I think he took pop abandonment with his no.
Pop abandonment. Yes, there's a little known clause called pop abandonment that he did there. So yeah. All right. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Did we already do that?
We did
it again.
Oh,
Steve,
all right, what we'll do next.
There. Steve, raise your glass again.
Last show pour there. Look at that glass.
It's a last show pour.
I was hoping meniscus on that pour.
I was hoping to finish it, but it's still.
He was showing us the surface tension of the whiskey with how far over the top of the rim it was.
Yeah, you need to dump that bottle, Steve. Dump that bottle. That bottle.
No.
Just kept it in the bottle and just drank out of the bottle.
Yeah. What we'll do next, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about bourbon sales continuing to grow on premise. Some good news. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Solid cork pop.
And then I threw the cork.
Solid cork drop.
Yeah, terrible cork pop. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily. I'm a big bourbon guy.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about on-site bourbon sales.
Yes, we are. So, the government keeps track of things, and one of they have off-premise liquor stores like the ABV Barrel Shop, and then they've got distilleries what they're selling, and then of course on-premise bars and stuff like that. This is reporting on bars what they're doing, and go ahead. Katie, you got something?
I was agreeing with you. I was saying, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. So, and we hear a lot of bad things. We just recently did a show that, a lot of craft distilleries are closing. We've done shows about all the glut of whiskey that's being laying down. What's going to happen? What does this mean for the industry? All those type of things. And here's some good news. The fact that there was growth, 1.1%, which is a lot when you're talking about the volume that they've got. So that's a pretty good increase there. And Irish whiskey also grew too. That was the other one. That was the next biggest growth, 0.5% for them. And the cool thing is that's the biggest growth out of any category. So, tequila's been growing big, actually, so much so on premise it actually passed up bourbon last year behind vodka. Vodka's was number one. I think tequila might even have passed vodka. I don't know. I can't remember what I read in this article. But so you've got vodka and tequila above bourbon, but bourbon or American whiskey, I should say, that includes rye and just regular American whiskey, but had the biggest growth out of any of them. So that's pretty cool, actually. That American whiskey was leading the way in terms of growth and on premise. So I like that. Now, what do you guys think?
Canadian dropped.
Yes, Canadian. Well, it probably deserves it. So well.
Was this based off sales or volume? Do we know? A money value?
I think it's based off of volume of sales. Yeah. Not cash. I think it's a number of cases moved is what they typically.
Yeah.
How they measure.
If it was everything, just cash, I was thinking like the neat
higher end
bars
stuff is
and
moving to
Revival was going to add a bunch of into that because those places are always busy. They have really cool experiences.
The government looks at cases and
I think it's unit numbers on the Nielsen and scan data mostly for this.
Right.
So I think
then that's a real good thing because that's just everyday bourbons. That's not things being more expensive or any of that. That's just people liking bourbon and liking getting old fashions or Manhattans or
So rather than researching this on my own, I just went to my brother since he works for a distributor and has to know what the Nielsen and other public data for his work. And so he had also mentioned about the tequila. And so I was happy to see though that apparently while the rest of the spirits are now showing some of the growth, tequila is not. So it looks like we may have hit the peak of the tequila and it's now coming down. So I was happy to see that with the growth of bourbon. And he had mentioned that some single barrels and store picks have lost a bit of their luster. And so I am wondering if some of this is getting back to the basics now of settling back into the tried and true American whiskeys for this as well. And that's why they're then gaining again now.
It could be. It certainly says that when you're talking about on-premise. Off-premise, it seems like everything's moving towards finishes and things like that in liquor stores. That seems to be like the big thing now these days, I would say. But everybody's trying to do something. So, but yeah, I just think this is good news in general. I mean, growth is good. So particularly when everybody's had this like black cloud hanging over.
I'm happy to hear it. Obviously, so there's been some not so good news out there, and so to get some good news like this is fantastic. And stay optimistic. So keep pushing.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that this growth will lead to a wider variety of on-premise having a small selection of bourbons. So it's some places you go into, they only have Jim Beam white label. Maybe they'll have makers. Then other places you go into, they have such a wide variety that becomes overwhelming, which is nice for those of us who are wanting maybe to go in, try something we haven't had in a while or we don't have at home. But I would like to see the trend growing of places that have like 5 or 6 selections. So they have just something a little different than your standard, these are the top 3. And I'm hoping that part of the market will increase for on-premise. That it's cool. You have even like rare breed, or you have something here that is
101.
So some of them, they don't even have Wild Turkey 101. So that would be fantastic. We could just get Wild Turkey 101 in more places, honestly.
Yeah.
So do we think this growth can be accustomed to people just drinking whiskey neat more than cocktails? Where do we think this growth is coming from? What has changed? What are people ordering that is providing this growth?
I would think cocktails.
Old fashions.
Just old fashions? Is that what we're thinking?
Well, that's going to be the bulk. That it's going to be a combination of a lot of things. But if you look at who's doing the heavy lifting, it's going to be the old fashioned. That's the cocktail of bourbon, really. Yeah. So that's
certainly seeing more paper planes out there on menus these days too.
I was going to say paper planes.
Yeah. Paper planes.
And also, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of highballs too.
Manhattans.
Highballs, that's good.
I think highballs are.
I can't say I've noticed that, but yeah. That's a good thing. It's a classic bourbon cocktail, the highball. I mean, that's as basic as it gets.
Japanese highball. That's good.
Katie, I'm sorry. Come again?
Japanese
highball? Okay. Where are you going that you're getting that?
Japan.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Makes sense.
I mean, in Houston, they had it at some of the bars I went to. They have it on tap at Katana Kitten in New York, which is like the best, but
if I ever go into a bar and they're like, hey, we have this one on tap and it's not a beer, I don't think I'm ordering it. I don't think I'm ordering a cocktail.
You gotta try it. Like, okay, so some of you in our small bars in rural Missouri here will have oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. It's the gin and tonic, Pinckney Bend gin and tonic.
Yeah.
On tap here, and it is so freaking good. Like, it is delicious. So if they have a mixed drink on tap, you should absolutely try it, is my thought.
So I've been to several Mexican restaurants where they have margaritas on tap.
Okay,
and I feel like there's never enough tequila in those margaritas. I feel like the on tap is a way to...
And they're using bottom shelf on those. Yeah.
Steve, what's your opinion on this?
On margaritas on tap or just
No,
cocktails?
on cocktails on tap.
No, you need a real bartender
I
making the
agree.
cocktails. Yeah.
It has to be made unless it's something that's like one of those like little barrel aged ones that they have like in the barrel like resting behind the bar or something
fine.
like something random like that.
Because someone made that.
If it's if it is a pre-made one, it's something that like is very obvious like that they do make it like daily almost in that bar. Like there's some where you're like, how often do you guys make that? Like, oh, we make one like we make it every day because it's an easy
This is
one.
their
for us.
signature thing, and that there's a high enough demand for it.
Beck and I are
On
spoiled because
tap.
yeah, on tap.
No, on tap makes me nervous.
The Pinky Ben. So I think the other problem is that out in a rural Missouri, I cannot trust what I'm sorry, but any bartender makes out here. If I ask for an old fashioned, even if I tell them spirit forward, I'm getting half a glass of mashed maraschino cherries and orange and a crap ton of syrup, and it's horrible. So I usually have to stick with beer. And so when I have something that's at least halfway good out here, I get very excited about it.
All right.
But
Well, we'll talk about that particular offering offline.
Katana Kitten in New York legitimately has good Japanese highball on tap. That they won like awards for it.
Okay.
Yeah, best
enough.
on tap. That's a great category. That's the one I want to win.
Yeah.
Let the records reflect that the Bourbon Daily does not actually support on tap
we don't.
cocktails, just Katie Joyce.
Becca and I are spoiled out of this group. We're the only ones that have had cocktails made by the great Molly Wellman. And it's different, right, Becca? I mean, you get Molly Wellman making cocktails, forget it. You can have your on tap, Katie, and Becca and I will just drink
also gin and
I'll
tonic
just
is not
order
a
something
cocktail.
neat or I won't get it at all.
Yeah.
Because the cocktail's got to be 3 ingredients. That's what I've learned through these cocktail classes. Everyone says it has to be at least 3 ingredients. So gin and tonic is not a cocktail. That is just a soda.
Well, what about your what's the one you said earlier? You're seeing
highball with the splash of lime. That's how you get a highball is with a splash of lime.
I was going to say, does the garnishment count as an ingredient?
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
Yeah, with my grandma always had highballs, and it was just bourbon and 7-Up and,
I don't really
a lime
count,
slice.
I don't really count any sort of alcohol with a soda a cocktail.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm
Like it's just not. It's a mixed drink.
It's not a
Like
cocktail.
it's not a cocktail. Like
So
"Ooh, let's
Beam
get
and
cocktails.
Coke's not a cocktail?
Let's get a Jack and Coke cocktail. That's
and
not a
Coke?
cocktail. That is a drink.
All right, I can see that. I can
Like
see
not
that.
a cocktail.
Yeah.
What if you add lime to it, Becca?
Fuck off, Ryan.
Also, I don't think a
You're so
cocktail
free.
counts unless it's made by a human, like in front of you. Like I don't think anything on tap, even
What
if you
if
had old
what if they
fashions on
have
top.
a robot? I just saw recently that they have robot bartenders. Are you discriminating against robots?
Yeah,
Yeah.
screw
because
robots.
robots have rights now. So
Nope.
I'm just saying, if a robot made
Robots have
me,
rights to
if a
go.
robot made me a cocktail and I said, "Hey, robot, I want it spirit forward. Please don't make it how they make them in Wisconsin with those old fashions. Please don't add any
brandy.
like 7-Up to it." And the robot's like, "Yeah, I understand what you're saying." The robot
It
will
wouldn't
actually
understand.
probably the robot's gonna actually probably fucking listen. If I'm like, I
No,
don't want simple
unless
syrup,
someone programmed it for that.
that's good. But say if the robot listens to what you're telling it to make, then know what? I'm pro robot.
But you're telling me if you go to Wisconsin, they're not going to program the little robot to put 7-Up in there, even no matter
Well,
what. you
and
say?
I wouldn't get one in Wisconsin.
Why not? Wisconsin's a fantastic state. I think Steve's
I
officially
didn't
killed
say.
his
What
bottle.
did I say that Wisconsin wasn't a good state?
I love that Becca not ordering an old fashioned.
Oh well, she hates Wisconsin. I
That's what I
love
heard.
Wisconsin. I love cheese.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is a beautiful state. There's nothing.
Wisconsin,
wrong with Wisconsin. I just
even if you
love
hate Wisconsin,
soda.
you gotta love the cheese. So then
I
you end
love
up like
saying it
Wisconsin.
wrong.
soda in my drink, and I
Wisconsin?
just don't want that.
Munchkin?
Becca, when you come to the house again, though, I'm gonna make
Jesus
you
Christ.
my version of Wisconsin old fashioned, and it's pretty good. But there's no soda in
I
there.
am
There's no
not
soda in there.
doubting that there are plenty of. I know that Wisconsin is like the biggest old fashioned state, but they're brandy old fashions, and those are very good on
Right.
occasion.
Right.
But they are a lot sweeter, and also most of the time when I have people from Wisconsin come to the distillery and get one of our old fashions, they're like, "Can you add some 7-Up to it?" That is fine if that's how you like to drink it. That's not how I like to drink my old fashioned.
It's also not an old fashioned once you add 7-Up, is my opinion.
Agreed.
It's a different drink.
Everyone knows that Darren's opinion is always correct.
Always correct, always
his
right,
mind.
and you can hear
his
it
mind.
all
Always.
the time.
I don't know about any of this.
So do we think, is it just the old fashioned then, or do we count? He asked if cocktails were adding to the whiskey use in on premise. Is it mixed with soda? That's really
Mixed with soda, yes. Mixed
Yeah.
drinks, soda. I say I'm sure that people probably not as. I mean, a Jack Coke is a very popular cocktail and easy to order.
Yeah,
Even
right.
though gin and Coke taste
But
better.
I would guess that there's a lot of people doing like a bourbon and ginger ale, which is a highball, is a very
Right.
popular. I feel like it is a popular cocktail. I've been drinking those more often.
No matter how
Jameson and
much-
ginger ale, that's even better.
You think, oh, this is a great cocktail. This has got to be leading the forward. There's always going to be a dive bar that sells 35 or a bottle's worth of Jack and Cokes a night. Like, there's always
Sure.
a dive bar that it's just mixer and product, an alcohol, and that's
Right.
what they do. And
Yeah.
they will carry the numbers. This is what-
Sure. Yeah. Well, Jack and Coke. That's going to contribute to this.
Do you
Yes.
think it's a generation growing up of people who don't like beer as much? That you have a generation that's not as much like the Bud Light drinkers?
Well, that's true. That is true. We've seen craft beer and beer. The beer in general is down. That's the reverse of what's going on with American whiskey. Beer is going down in sales numbers by any account. Anything you read, beer number, and that's got to come out from. It's not like people are just drinking less. No, it's like those dollars are getting spent elsewhere. In this example, it looks like it's being spent on bourbon, on American whiskey.
More cocktails and mixed drinks and stuff like that. I also think that people are being a little. This is not me saying that bourbon is healthy necessarily, but it is. There's a lot of people who don't want to have carbonation, which is going to be beers,
Right.
and they do want to have a cocktail that's doesn't
Right.
have a bunch of stuff in it. That's going to be carbonation and things like that. And so they're
And
being more
sugars and-
like a little bit
Right.
more like health conscious sometimes too, and even just like a
Sure.
bourbon water and stuff like that. And that's
As we explode on people self-diagnosing that they can't have gluten, well, they're not going to have the beer then. They're
Yeah.
gonna
Lots-
drink distilled spirits. So that drives it too. That actually helps. That's one of the few areas where the self-diagnosing people actually help a situation. So they help grow
Help the
bourbon,
world.
American whiskey. So that's good. It's good. So thank you. Keep reading online stuff and diagnosing yourself. And yes, drink more American whiskey then, folks. That's you're cool.
That's the message here in the on-premise numbers.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, and then to tell everybody how horrible it is and all that. You get to. It's so cool. You can post it on your Facebook. It's the struggles of being gluten, and yeah, it's. I love Facebook and people just telling
On your
everything on their
X?
life. Yeah, on your X, whatever you want to do. Just tell us. We want to read about your health issues and all that. When it's not really a health issue, my God, if so, the people have real health issues that they're dealing with, and then these people that are. That diagnose themselves as they can't have gluten.
Let's
Yeah.
also make it very abundantly clear that there are the biggest problem with that is that there are tons of people who do actually have celiac disease.
Yeah, they have,
and that they don't
real
get taken
disease.
seriously at all when they go in and say,
Right.
I can't have I'm gluten free, and the waitress goes, okay, whatever. And so then that person who actually does get violently sick from that
Right.
gets sick because they didn't take it seriously because they think it's a joke, because it is a joke a lot of times.
Right.
So that is a huge problem.
It's a social media, which I hate social media, but it is. People want to be victims of stuff. They want to be like, I'm dealing with this issue, and they want to throw it out there, and they want
The
people to
world's
feel
against
sorry
me,
for them.
blah 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 blah.
They want people to feel sorry for them.
I can
I'm dealing
say
with this.
strictly because I just had my best friend here who is actually celiac, and all the time it happens where she gets screwed over because no one actually wants to listen to her. This was the first weekend because we were in a bigger city where they do actually they do have real gluten-free options in bigger cities generally.
Sure.
And she's
Yeah.
like, she didn't get sick even once.
That's good.
Ashley is always puking all over the place all the time, especially before she knew she was celiac. We're just
Sure.
like, oh, Ashley's puking again. Drank too much
I've been
beer.
witness to this. I've seen this.
Lots of puking. Didn't puke once this weekend, and we drank plenty. And it's because she actually, no one poisoned her with fucking gluten.
Right.
Poor thing.
No one poisoned her this weekend. It was
One
great.
poisoned her. She's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
generally say if no one poisons me in a weekend, it's a pretty good weekend. So
yeah, that's how you should always feel. You should always feel like people are actually like, when you tell them that is a poison to me, they should maybe take it seriously. Unfortunately, too many people say that things poison them, and it's not true.
Yeah. They're hearing it out of 1 out of 4 dining parties, probably, that there's someone.
They order a beer and then say, I can't have the bread actually because
they pick and choose, right? They're
I'm gluten intolerant. It's like, well, you just had a beer, actually.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Don't know what you're doing here.
Or lactose intolerant, and then
leave us alone.
And then want a milkshake.
Yeah, they're picking. They say those lactose motherfuckers are real picky, baby, choosy, aren't they?
They are very picky. Ice cream doesn't count. Ice cream doesn't count. First of all, anybody who's lactose intolerant, you can have all the ice cream.
Cheese don't count.
A little cheese is fine. Is it fine or is it not fine?
Right.
Are you gonna complain or are you gonna shut the hell up? Make up your mind. We're not dealing with these fucking no. We're not dealing with it.
In my coffee, absolutely no regular milk. It has to be oat. But when it comes to ice cream,
and here's where
example A is happening.
Katie's
right
part
now
of the problem.
of
Katie's part of the problem. Here we go.
I am. Yes.
I'm sorry, but this tastes like cow's milk.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Do you know how violently sick I will become?
Right.
Get me that cheese real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that an Oreo milkshake? Because that's coming my way.
Yeah. You know who has problems digesting lactose? Humans. There you go.
Everyone
so anybody can be lactose intolerant. It's not. Yeah.
Because no other animals eat milk as an adult. It is just a thing for babies. No other animals in the history of the world has ever eaten milk.
It's delicious in ice cream and milkshakes and cheese. So
I drink and I consume so much milk that it's not even funny.
Right.
I drink like a gallon of milk a week.
Willing to take.
The funny thing was, before I figured out I was lactose intolerant,
I have strong bones,
an upset stomach, and I would drink milk to try to calm my stomach.
Sure.
It took a while to figure it out. I'm a smart one.
Sure. You had to get online.
Yeah,
turn it online. They'll help you.
They do this all the time, Steve. I think that I'm actually intolerant of this, and it turns out that they had an ulcer for years because of all the stress, and they just take a bunch of ibuprofen. They're like, I don't know why. It must be gluten because I get so sick all the time, and they're taking handfuls of ibuprofen every single day.
Tearing up their stomach lining.
Maybe it's because you're destroying your stomach lining.
Right. Ridiculous.
Possibility.
I did find a lactose medicine though. You just take it for a week, once a month, and it works the entire 4 weeks.
I think that you should do that, and then we don't have to listen to it ever again.
Yeah. It's great. I can pretty much eat whatever lactose I want now. It's a miracle.
Why are we even talking about lactose intolerance anymore?
Why is that even a thing?
Take your fucking medicine and shut the hell up.
Yeah. We've passed this as humans.
It's been cured. It's cured.
Yeah,
We're
Katie's
fine.
cured. Katie's cured. She can have all the ice cream.
I'm glad to hear that whiskey consumption on premise is up. How about you guys?
It's up. Yeah.
Okay.
And lactose.
I was about to say earlier, it's one of my favorite parts of the show when we all get on a weird tangent and Ryan sits there just staring at us like, I don't even know what to do with you all.
It's like this.
Because he can't relate to normal people.
He's like, when do I tell them I'm a vegan?
And I don't like sandwiches, Lenny.
Yeah.
Just along for the ride.
Yeah. So there you go. It's up. Bourbon actually led the way, which is cool. Number one growth was Kentucky straight bourbon, which is
we're number one. We're number one.
There you go. Kentucky straight bourbon leading the way, and growth numbers out there. So that's very cool. All right, there you go. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. We'll start with Darren. Darren, where can people find you?
If you want to find me and my 100% always right opinions, you can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
He just wants to start trouble. He's hoping he gets yelled at. Yeah. Katie, how about you?
Well, kind of like Steve Akeley, who states he hates social media. I'm an easy gal to find. So just head on over to Instagram at Katie Proof.
Yes, I do hate social media, but I'm actively part of it.
The highest consumer of social media on here, Steve Akeley. We could lump him into the lactose and the gluten-free people.
If I get flack as lactose intolerant, then Steve should get flack here too.
He's social media intolerant, but can't stop his usage.
Social media intolerant.
When I retire, you're not going to see me on social. I'll probably stick around for my friends. I'll be private accounts. I'm not.
Oh yeah, because he needs that addiction.
He's gonna start a fucking TikTok after he retires.
I'll be TikToking.
Oh, I do have to add for my shout out, any of the actual bourbon people, my account is now private for work purposes. But if you're a bourbon person, do not be afraid to do the follow request. It's okay. I'm still friendly.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
It makes sense.
Look at her.
It makes sense.
Going places in life.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ryan, how about you?
I'm over here admiring the fact that Katie just poured one more at the end of the show.
I did.
So nicely done there. I noticed that.
Thank you.
Across all socials at 10th MTN Whiskey, and our website's 10thwhiskey.com. That's 10th whiskey with an E.
Miss Beka Sue.
I'm waiting for you to pour that last bit of whiskey, Steve, in your glass.
I did earlier.
Dump it.
That
was like 30 minutes ago. Come on.
Oh,
now.
sorry. I was screaming too much. I can't help it.
We missed it.
Yeah, I was screaming too much. You can find me yelling at people here on the Bourbon Daily every Sunday. And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me. The ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We've always got bourbon celebrities in there and much more. abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you to please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Finance. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
You guys.
No.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.